talk about the dig in Israel.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this is one
did you go on this one?
Yes, I did.
This is the one you went on?
Yep, I was there for 17 days.
Okay.
My wife was with me for 10,
Okay.
which was wonderful. And this is one of the most important things that we're doing. A lot of organizations touch on archaeology in the Bible, but we're doing original research in the field.
Okay.
And the dig that we're doing is at a place called Khirbet El Maqader. It's the Arabic name for it. But what we're looking for is the city of Ai,
Okay.
recorded in the Bible in Joshua chapter 7 and 8.
Okay.
And there's been an enormous amount of controversy surrounding Ai because scholars identified it at a location about a mile from our site. They dug there and they didn't find any evidence that there was occupation at the time of Joshua and declared the Bible was incorrect.
Right.
And people accepted this pretty across the board. And we really think it's affected people in the academic community and Christians as well, seminaries and that sort of thing. And so our ministry was founded 40 years ago by David Livingston.
Oh.
And David founded the ministry largely in part to deal with the I problem, with the conviction that, no, the Bible's not the problem, it's the archaeology is the problem.
Right,
we need to look into this. And so he founded the ministry in large measure to deal with this issue. So it's a really important part of what we're doing. So the dig has been going on since the mid-90s.
Okay.
And it was shut down in the 2000s because of the Intifada that broke out. And we went back in 2009, and then just this past season a couple months ago.
Okay. And you'll probably be going back again?
Yes, we're scheduled to go back next year.
Okay.
From May into June of 2011.
Okay. Now we have some, we're going to bring up whatever we have in the back there. Okay, this is for Joshua's eye.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. In short?
Yeah, in short, this is a summary of hundreds of statements I could tell you about what scholars have said about Joshua 7 and 8. You know, the evidence shows that there was no city at Ai for the Israelites to conquer. That means at the time that Joshua and the Israelites entered the land, which would have been about 1400 BC, the skeptics and scholars are saying that, you know, the city that they identified as Ai doesn't have any evidence that the Israelites conquered it.
Okay.
And there's literally hundreds of statements like this that you could find.
And is that the location there? We have a map right there.
Yeah, this is just to give the viewer some geographical bearing as to what's going on. You can see Jerusalem's over to the far left at the bottom. You see the Dead Sea. You see Jericho.
Exactly. I see that.
And Jericho was conquered first after the Israelites crossed the Jordan River. Remember the miracle at the river where the river was stopped up with the Ark of the Covenant?
I remember that.
And then they moved over to Ai, which is about maybe 10 miles from there as the crow flies, and which is near Bethel as well. And so just to give people some context as to where it is, where it is
and that's where you're
Israel.
digging right now, and you're going to be going back to dig again.
Yep, that's right. Over there in the area that says I, right in that region there is where we're digging.
Okay.
So, and at our site, we've uncovered a tremendous amount of evidence that we think fits the biblical account very well. One of them is sling stones, and these stones remind you of the great story of David and Goliath.
David and Goliath.
And those sling stones, in some cases, are as big as a tennis ball.
Wow.
They're very heavy, and the slingers were experts at slinging stones.
Oh, they were accurate, like a marksman.
Yes,
Just like a marksman.
like an archer or a sniper, or the same thing. They practiced. In fact, in the Book of Judges, there's the Benjaminites were left-handed slingers. You find it. You read about that.
Well, with a stone that big, you could kill someone very easily.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we think of them as tiny little pebbles.
That's right.
But they're quite large.
Yeah, they are, and well, those are military ones, probably pre-prepared. Now, David probably just picked one up off the ground, but I'm sure God in His providence provided the right stone for him.
Exactly, I'm sure that He did.
And but it certainly reminds us it's not just a little pebble, but and so the Goliath's size was irrelevant.
Right.
Really.
All right, let's continue on with some of the pictures that we have here. I think we have a few more. What is this? This is a storage jar from the time of Joshua.
Yeah, that's right. And this is typical of some of the things that we have found. It shows that people lived there at the time of Joshua.
Okay.
That the site was occupied. We found last year this amazing find here. This is actually an infant burial.
Oh, an infant.
That's right.
Neonate.
Yep.
Newborn found in the vicinity of Burrow. Wow.
Yep. And this is a very significant discovery.
Yeah, it's amazing that bones would be the fragile little bones of a newborn.
Yes. The practice at this time in the ancient world was to actually, they put the child inside of a piece of pottery, like a jar.
Oh, I see.
And then they would bury the child underneath the floor of the home.
Okay.
This was the practice at that time. And we found, there's the picture of the jar right there. You can see where the infant was probably inserted from the bottom.
I see.
That part is missing. And then there's also you see the other artifacts around it. There's a ritual that was associated with the burial.
Okay.
Similar to how, when someone passes away, people put things in the casket.
Right.
Pictures or
right.
jewelry.
Yes, mementos or something.
Mementos. We believe that practice was very similar. That would be a good modern parallel to it. So.
Wow, that is amazing. Now here we have the view of the gate looking north. What is this that we're seeing?
Yeah, this is important. The city, fortresses like this were built with the city gate, and you read about gates. It's in the Bible all the time. Job sat at the city gate, right? And this sort of thing. And the gate is significant because it shows it was a fortress. It's facing north, and the Bible says that when Joshua came to attack Ai, he came in front of the city, which would be in the direction of the gate.
Right.
And it also says that he was in the north of the city. So the fact that the gate faces north fits the biblical account.
It absolutely does. And there's some of the group that went on the dig?
Yes, we had about 35 to 40 folks, give or take, on the trip. You can see we had a full crew there, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay, and there we had the website and the phone number and everything there, and we just hope that our people do get involved. Now, what was your impression personally when you were on a dig like this?
I tell you, it was a spiritual experience. I'm very interested, obviously, in archaeology and apologetics and defending the Bible, and it's very important. But the experience of being at a place where these events took place and doing work to help defend the scriptures where they've been attacked.
Right.
It was a very moving thing, and the experience I had with the people that came, the other Christians that came from all over the world,
right,
and spent all this money to come over there to dig in the dirt in the hot sun, which is sort of counterintuitive, but there's something wonderful about it.
Yes.
And getting to know people, the Lord works in a special way when we're doing this work. It's much more than archaeology. So it really had a strong effect on me personally. It was a very powerful experience.